Welcome to Aerial Yoga, take 2. All right, so we'll take a deep breath in through the nose and a deep breath out. And another deep breath in and a deep breath out. This time, take a deep breath in and reach up nice and tall. Gather the fabric, and we're going to lengthen out in front. So now we're really going to get a nice stretch again through the back of the legs and through the spine. Again, we'll bend the right knee, look underneath the left arm. Just give a nice side stretch. Come back to the center, bend the left knee, and look underneath the right arm. Good. And then slowly come back up and rise. So we're going to start today just making sure we're at the right height. So we're going to come into our pelvic points. So we're going to come into downward facing dog. So you want to be underneath the midline. So the best thing to do is to press the fabric down. Maybe if it's a little high, you're going to come up onto your toes and bring the arms through. We want to get the fabric to where the thighs and the hips kind of meet, so that crease. So from here, you're going to forward fold, draw the stomach muscles in, keep pushing the fabric into the pelvis, and then the hands are going to make their way down to the floor. So see if you can bring your hands and connect them to the mat, and then slowly walk ourselves back into downward facing dog. Now, if the fabric's fairly high, most of your feet are not going to be on the floor, but what I do want you to connect are your hands. And then let your head be heavy. Let your head drop in between the arms. And then what you may find is that your feet kind of naturally come off, or you could work with one leg at a time, lifting the right leg up into three-legged dog. And then slowly lower the right leg, and then lift the left leg up in the air. Now, if you're feeling like it's not in the right placement of the pelvis, bring the legs back down, and you can take one hand and kind of push it down more into the hips, and do the same thing with the other. Because we want to make sure, it might not necessarily feel super comfortable, but we don't want to feel like it's pressing into the stomach or the organs. We really want to feel like it's coming across the pelvis. Now from here, again, the hands stay connected. The head is heavy in between the arms. You're really pressing out of the arms. We're lengthening into our downward facing dog. And now, could you slowly lift both legs off of the floor? You don't have to lift real high, but if you feel comfortable, you could keep lifting. If it feels maybe a little uncomfortable to have a narrow, you could always open the legs a little wider, maybe even externally rotate. Kelsey, how are you doing? Do you feel like it's a little high, or is that okay? Okay. And then maybe open the legs nice and wide. Press out of the arms. So we're really lengthening through the arms and the spine. And breathe in through the nose and back out. Now from here, bring the feet together like a butterfly. And we could stretch a little here. Bring the right knee over towards the right side, stretching the left side of the body, and bring it over to the left side. And we're just kind of moving from side to side. Good. Now from here, you're going to draw the knees together, and we're going to come into our first inversion, which is cannonball. So you're going to tuck the chin in towards the chest, draw the knees into the chest, and then from here, see if you can float the right hand to the right shin and the left hand to the left shin. And it's a little bit of a trust factor, right? You might be like, oh, I'm not sure. It's also maybe a little bit of a pain factor. Right, so we may really feel that across the hips. So if you feel like it's a little high, right, you can continue to push it down. Good, come up and over it. Perfect, and then do that to the other side. Good, and then come up and is that better, Kelsey? It looks like it's a little better placement. Good. And then the idea is that we're just letting ourselves hang here. So we're getting some of the pressure points across the front of the pelvis. We're allowing the spine to decompress, allowing the head to just relax. Now, at any time if you're feeling a little nauseous, right, or you just don't like it, you can come right back into downward facing dog. And that's going to alleviate some of the pain or pressure across the pelvis. From here, if you'd like to go into some extension work, we're going to go into our flying locust. So you're going to take your right hand into the fabric, thumb in, fingers wrap around, and the left hand. And at the same time, you're going to lengthen the legs and walk the arms up. So really opening up through the body. Now we can really stay here. We could squeeze the glutes, lengthen the legs. if you wanted to practice a little bit of flying, right, you're going to slide the hands down. You have to create more extension in the upper body, but you may be able to float one arm out, maybe try the other, or yeah, maybe try both. It's a huge balancing act right there. A lot of work through the core of the body. Otherwise, we're hanging on. Maybe we just really like the opening through the shoulders. And then from here, draw the knees into the chest. Let the head be heavy and come back to our cannonball. And breathe in and breathe out. And we all have good heights. Everybody's head is off on the mat, so that is a good thing. We'll bring our hands back down to the floor. Let the feet come down. Let the head be heavy. Return to downward facing dog. We're just in an inversion, so we always want to try and bring ourselves out of it slowly. So we'll slowly walk the hands and feet towards one another, draw the stomach muscles in, and then from here, use the strength of the stomach to slowly roll ourselves up. Come up easy, just so the head doesn't get a little head rush. Good, and then we'll bring ourselves out. So we're going to work into stepping up and down into the fabric. So we're going to gather the fabric in closed fabric. We're underneath the midline. Let's step the left foot in. So you're going to bring the arch of the left foot into the fabric. Then you're going to slide the hands up. So remember, the rule of thumb when we're coming into a standing position is that we don't let go unless we're told so, right? So the shoulders are down and back, belly's drawn in. Press into the arch of the foot, and we're going to stand up into the fabric. So the feet sometimes want to crunch together here. So we got to activate those outer hips. So push into the outer edges of the feet to feel the outer hips working. And then let's warm up the whole body. Come into a squat. So we're going to come down, lower in, and then rise back up using the arms and the legs. Lowering down. Good. And rising back up. Good. Do that 2 more times, lowering down and rising up. And 1 more time, lowering down and rising up. Keeping the left foot in the fabric, extend the right leg out. Let's do the same thing, single leg squats. So lowering down and rise back up. So we're using arms, abs, and legs. The whole body is really warming up here. Good. Do 2 more, lowering down and rise up. Let's do 1 more, lowering down and rise up. Good. Right foot is going to come down to the floor. Left foot stays in the fabric. So again, you want to be underneath the midline and extend the left leg out and release the arms. Bring the leg out to the side to warm up through the hips and come back to the center. And do that again. Bring it out to the side and back to the center. This time, bring it out to the side. See if we can reach for the fabric. Take a deep breath in, reach the right arm up, and maybe give a nice little side bend stretch. Good. And then from here, slowly release. And take the leg, you're going to bend the left knee just a bit, internally rotate the thigh, and bring it behind us. So we're going to come into a lunge position. From here, we'll continue to warm up through the legs. So arms will come overhead, take a deep breath in, and lower down into our lunge. And exhale, come back up. So really think about the stretch that's occurring on the top of the left thigh and the strength that's going into the right hip and quad. Good. And then this time, take the arms out to the side. Let's work into Warrior 3. Hinging forward. You can keep the arms out to the side. Try to square the hips and the shoulders. Maybe bring the arms overhead. It's a lot of work for the standing leg. So really connect with the standing leg, the hip into the abs. Shoulder blades are pulling down and away as we're lengthening. Now from here, we're going to bring the hands down to the floor and walk our hands forward. Set the right knee down on the mat. So we've got shoulders, elbows, wrists stacked. We really want to set the upper body up. So pull the shoulder blades down away, draw the stomach muscles in. Using the strength from the abs and the left leg, you're going to lift the right leg up into the fabric. And we're going to come into a floating plank position. So let's activate the upper body and the core. Pull the knees into the chest, push back out. Again, pull the knees into the chest and press back out. Do that 1 more time, pull in and press out. From here, you're going to set your right knee down on the floor. Slide the right hand in towards the left just a bit. And we're going to rotate towards the parking lot and open up into a kneeling side plank. So you're going to stack the shoulders, elbows, wrists. Really think about the obliques working here. And then from here, if you want, you could slide the bottom leg out and come into a full side plank. And now really squeeze through the glutes, lift through the underside, and maybe look up. And breathe in and breathe out. If you want to float the bottom leg up, you could do that as well, really activating the inner thighs and the pelvic floor. And then, woo, slowly come down, right? Because there's a lot of swing action going on there. Now turn back to the center. You're going to keep your right toes on the floor. Draw the shoulders down and away so you're still in your plank position. Draw the abs in. Lift the right foot up and just float it up in the air. And then from here, you're going to do your mountain climber. Right knee is going to come in. Left knee is going to come in. Right knee is going to come in. Left knee is coming in. And do that a few times, in and out. This time, pull the right knee in and step the right foot back onto the center of the mat. Walk yourself slowly back in. Maybe give a nice little stretch here for the hamstring. If you'd like, you can continue to walk back and work more into stretching into the hips. And that's a nice big hamstring stretch. Mary, you're so quiet back there. All right, and then slowly come back up. So soften the right knee, draw the stomach muscles in, and slowly rise up. Good. So that's a lot of work to come up from the bottom, and a lot of balance. So let's work in a dancer's pose here. You're going to reach the arms back, and each hand gets a set of fabric. And yeah, it is going to be twisted at the foot. That's fine. Draw the elbows in, shoulders are down and back. Slide the hands down. So first we want to connect with the balance, then we start to connect with the extension. So maybe we use the swing to help lift and float the foot up in the air. And breathe in through the nose and back out. If we'd like a little more, maybe we balance on the toes. And then slowly release. Now we're going to give you two options to fly here. Your first option is to put it on like a jacket. That's going to be a deeper quad stretch, less work for the upper body. And then you can just let go and hang. All right, so that's our first option. Mary's got the second option right there, which is hanging on the way we did before and using a little bit more upper body strength. Breathe in and breathe out. So a couple different ways to work through the pose. Or if we just like the good old dancer, grounded, we can do that as well. Good. When we are ready, we're going to set the right foot down. We're going to bring the left leg all the way around. Bending the left knee, sliding the hands up, again, engage through the center. Use the left leg to stand back up into the fabric. Feet come back together. Good, so now left leg floats up. And let's do a couple single leg squats on the right leg, lowering down and rising back up. Again, lowering down and rise up. One more time, lowering down and rise up. And now we're going to switch legs. We're going to take the left leg down to the floor and do all that action on the other side. So right leg extends out, and we swing it out to the side and back to the center. So we want to make sure we even out the body here. So really think about creating a lot of length in the body. All right, so a lot of support from the core, a lot of support from the glutes, especially as we're standing on one leg. Good. From here, reach towards the fabric. Left arm comes up, take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, maybe you can even reach for that other fabric. Give a nice side bend stretch. And we'll find out how our hips feel and how our hamstrings and inner thighs feel today. And then slowly rise back up. From here, you're going to turn the thigh bone in, bend the knee to bring it behind into our lunge. Arms come overhead, shoulders are down and back, and we're working into our lunge, lowering down and lifting back up. Good, so breathing in and breathing out. You can really feel the strength now in the left leg and the stretching into the right leg. So now come back up. We find first arms out to the side, warrior three. Take a nice little bow, reach the crown of the head forward. Try to square the hips and the shoulders, pull the stomach muscles in. And then if we want, extend the arms overhead, draw the shoulders down and away. And breathe in through the nose and back out. Good. Take another deep breath in. As we exhale, bring the hands down to the floor. Walk ourselves forward. Plant the left knee on the floor. You've got shoulders, elbows, wrists stacked. Right here. Draw the shoulders down and away. So press into the right foot. And now let's lift the left leg up into the fabric with the right. So floating plank position. Now we did our knee tuck, right? So we draw the knees in, kind of stay there and then push back out. The next option is to keep the legs long, move from the hips, come into your half handstand. So you're going to lift your hips up over, really draw them through the belly, and then come back. Good, again, drawing up and in, and back out. Good, do that one more time, drawing up and in, good, and back out. And then this time the left knee comes down to the floor. Left hand slides forward just a bit. Let's rotate towards the Pilates equipment and open up. So we want shoulders, elbows, wrists stacked, reaching the right arm up. All right, and then from here, if you'd like, you can slide the bottom leg down. Really think about coming into the full side plank. Squeeze the glutes, draw the stomach muscles up and in. Again, if you want, try and lift that bottom leg. And you're going to swing around because we're on a swing right there. And you're going to feel the action, the connection of the inner thighs and the pelvic floor. And then turn back to the center. Shoulders, elbows, wrists are stacked, keeping the left foot on the floor. Lift the left leg up in the air. Good. And now let's do the mountain climber. Left knee in, right knee in. Left knee in, right knee in. This time you're going to pull the left knee in and step the left foot on the floor. Walk yourself all the way back. Good. And then if you want, you can go deeper into the stretch right here. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. So notice if there's a difference from one side to the other. Do we feel more comfortable doing this stretch on one side over the other? And then slowly bring ourselves back up. Knee over ankle, soften the knees, and then rise back up. Good. Working into dancer on this side, reaching the arms back. Again, try a couple different options. First, float the elbows in, so we've got them in alignment with the shoulders. And then as we lean or hinge forward, we're going to start to come into our extension. And this may be where we want to stay today. Maybe we want to try and balance on the toes. Right, remember our two flying options. If we like that, you can just hang on here and go. If you like a little bit deeper quad stretch, though, I like this one here. Plus, you don't have to work as hard in the upper body, but you're getting maybe what you want in the lower body with that deeper quad stretch. Good. Or again, holding on from the outside and coming in. Excellent. All right, so we should be getting warm here. So we're going to release the arms, swing it all the way around. We're going to come up into our next inversion. We're going to do inverted butterfly. So we're going to bend the right knee, reach the arms up, and bring ourselves all the way up. So very important, the feet are evenly together when we come into this. So you're going to let your hips drop back a bit, and you're going to bring your feet together like a little book, and then bend the knees and come down. So your knees are behind the fabric. There we go, good. All right, so once we're here, I want you to take one arm, you choose which one, and you're going to bring it in front. So now you're securely in here. See if you can bring the other arm in front. All right, now from here, this is where you're going to decide. You could stay more in this upright butterfly, or we could come forward. So if you just feel like flipping, some people are comfortable with just flipping, they can do that. I generally like to go with a little bit more slower pace just because of the neck. So from here, I usually will say grab on a little bit higher, so around the ribs, because if you grab too low, the hands are going to get kind of tucked in there. You have to have a little bit of faith, right? You're going to come forward, and then you're just going to let the fabric mold around the hips and turn yourself upside down. Good, yes. Kelsey, how you doing? So if you want, yeah, you can let them kind of go into the hip creases there a little bit, and then if you want, you can always let the hands go and even just stop yourself. If you don't like a lot of the swinging around, right, you can always stop yourself as long as you're not too high. And some people really like to swim. Now from here, see if you can maybe do a nice chest expansion, open up the arms. This is also a good time to find out what are our shoulders and our forearms up to. So could we do a reverse prayer? So you're going to try and press the palms together. Fingertips are actually pointed down towards the earth right here. Breathe in. So Mary, try it the other way. Whoo! All right, we start to feel it. So a lot of this is stemming from the shoulders, from the wrists, the forearms. It's a good stretch. And breathe in and breathe out. And we might just be getting a little bit of what we call a warming or a burn coming through right into the hip creases right there. All right, it's a little, was it snarking? Or was it that we called that right there? So yeah, so just realize that. And again, you don't have to stay here forever. If you want to stay here a little longer, great. I'm going to show you how to get out of it. You get out of it the same way you came in. So you hook the thumbs inside, fingertips wrap around. Draw the shoulders down and away. It's really a lot of work from the triceps. Bring ourselves back up and getting a mic around there too. All right, and then you're going to slowly hold on. Let your arms come through. So you're holding on from behind. Now we're going to come into boat pose. So you're going to push the legs out and lower the hips down. Good, and breathe in and breathe out. And then we're going to come into a seated position. Take the legs over. Good, so nice work. All right, so we're moving into our seated trapeze position. And again, right here might not feel the most comfortable, the IT bands, but we'll try and bear with it. So the hands are going to come at the shoulders. You're going to take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, slowly lower down. So we're caught underneath the knees. Now we're using the strength of the upper body and the abs. Draw the shoulders down and away. Pull yourself back up. Good. And again, slowly lower down. So it's a great massage for the hamstrings. And pull yourself back up. Good. Do it one more time, lowering down. Good. And then pull yourself all the way back up. So we worked our side plank where our feet were in the fabric. Now we're going to do it where our hips are in. So you're going to bring your right hand to the fabric, take your left arm through and over. So when you rotate, where this fabric is on the right hip is where we want it to stay. We don't want to go any higher or any lower. We really want it to stay right there. So your right hand's going to reach out. You're going to peek your head from behind. As you start to dive down with your right hand, you're going to swing your legs towards the parking lot and lift your right hip over the left. Good. So it's kind of a little bit of leap of faith. Once the hand is down, take a look at your hand. Make sure you've got shoulder, elbow, wrist stacked, and the hand is firmly grounded. Lengthen the legs, draw the stomach muscles in, and engage the right obliques. And then you should just be able to let go. Should just be able to let the arm reach up. Now, there's a couple different things you could do here. You could stay right here. You could lift the top leg a little bit. You could really lift the top leg and hook it in. Right? If you wanted to, you could bend the bottom knee. That's going to increase that trigger point on the IT band, and then maybe you could reach around, kind of like what we call a twisted flower right here. And breathe in and breathe out. Good. Then from here, release the legs back, grab on with the left hand, bend the left elbow, so get the left arm engaged, then use the arms and the abs to pull yourself back up. Good. And then we're just going to try that same thing to the left side. So right hand comes over, left hand releases. We want that point on the thigh to remain, so you're lifting the right hip over the left, getting the left shoulder, elbow, wrist stacked, squeeze through the legs, the glutes, the underside, and then maybe you can reach the right arm up. And you may feel more on one side than the other. Mary, see if you can lift this hip up more. Yeah, so kind of stack it. Right now this is more forward. Try and bring this more back. So you're really on the outside of the leg, which may not feel amazing, right? Lift the top leg a little bit. Maybe really lift it, hook it in. Maybe bend the bottom knee, reach around, grab you onto the foot. And these are all just add-ons. You can just stay where you are. You can hold on the whole time. Breathe in and breathe out. Yeah, and if you feel like, I got to get out of this, you get out of it, right? And then grab on with the right hand, soften the right elbow, pull yourself back up. Good, awesome. All right, from here, let's work a little bit of the lower body. So we're going to come down to the mat. So you're going to do your knee drop. You're going to keep lowering your arms, lower, lower, lower. Once you can't lower anymore, then you're going to just drop an arm and try and find the ground. And hopefully, just gently rest your head, neck, shoulders, and arms. So we're at our knee points right here, which is not necessarily a comfortable position, but see if you can just breathe for a few moments right here and feel that. All right, then from here, can you unhook one leg at a time? You want to bring it right above the heel. And keep the hips lifted. We're coming into what's known as an extended bridge position. So really draw the stomach muscles in, squeeze through the back of the legs and the back of the hips. And the head, neck, and shoulders are just relaxed. They're just coming along for the ride. Now let's do a double knee tuck. So pull the knees in, push back out. So we're just checking in with the hamstrings here, pulling in and back out. Do that a few more times, in and out. One more, in and out. Now slowly let the hips come down to the floor. Good. So keep the right leg in the fabric, float the left leg up. So make sure the right foot is still really grounded in the fabric. Now lift the hips back up again. Now pull in with just the right leg. Pull in, push back out. Pull in, push back out. Your goal is to try and keep the hips lifted. Do one more, pull in and out. Good. Replace it. Left leg goes in, right leg goes up. And see which one feels stronger. Again, pull in and push out. Try to keep the hips as level as possible. Two more, in and out. One more, in and out. And the right leg goes back in. From here, keep the hips lifted. Bend the knees, and you're going to hook the legs back over the fabric again. So we're going back to where we left off, our knee points. Now this is a lot. Your legs don't get to do anything here. It's got to be your abs and your upper body. So first, draw the chin towards the chest. Ignite the abs. Arms reach for the fabric, and we crawl ourselves up all the way to seated. Woo, go, go, go. You can do it, you can do it. Awesome, good work. And then plant the hands down, or hands down, the feet down. All right, so let's go to high back points. So you're gonna walk to the back of the mat, and you're gonna just let yourself surrender into the fabric. And you can come in a little bit more if you like to be more at an angle. It's really up to you where you want this to land, right? Some people like it a little bit lower on the upper back. Some people like it a little higher. It is going to cut into your armpits at certain points, so we want to be aware of that. Reach the hands behind, cradle the head, and now open the elbows, open up the heart. So we're really giving a good extension to what we call the thoracic spine here. And we're pretty tight across the chest and the shoulders, so hopefully this feels good to really open up the body. Don't forget about the abdominal muscles though. Draw the stomach muscles in, and the legs are active as well. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Now from here, just kind of bend over to the right. Reach that right elbow towards the right side. So you're opening up the left side of the body. And then come back to the center and up and over to the other side. Good, and then come back to the center. Now bring the head back in a neutral position. So lift the head, arms come down by the sides. Let's work into the feet a bit, the feet and the ankles. So you're going to bend the knees and come into a high chair position. So it's really a high squat. Draw the stomach muscles in and just try and lift the heels. Now push back from the legs and come up onto the toes. Come back to that position we were just in, up onto the toes, press out onto the heels. So that's going to be the movement that's going to be coming from your feet and ankles to get yourself into our flying plank, or what we might call a ski jump position. So we're going to come into a reclining plank. Take a deep breath in. As we exhale, it becomes the abs and the legs doing the work. As we press ourselves out, keep the feet connected and lengthen. Draw the stomach muscles in, feel the quadricep muscles working, and then use all the stomach and the legs to pull yourself back. So you're going to have to surrender into the swing. The arms really aren't doing anything. The upper back is stabilizing. Pull the shoulder blades down and back, but you're going to feel the pressure points into the armpits and then slowly release back. It's a lot of work from the abs down. One more time. Come forward, lengthen, draw the stomach muscles in. Good. And then slowly release back. One more time. Give a nice big stretch. Good. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out, bring the hands to the fabric. Now walk yourself down so you come more underneath the midline. So now we're in our chair or low chair position. Again, you can always readjust through the upper back, and you're just letting the hips hang down. So you may almost feel a little bit, because of the swing, your spine getting stretched in this position. So from here, you're going to hold on to the fabric, draw the shoulders down and back, lift up onto the toes, and then try to use the stomach muscles or the core muscles to lift the knees up. And do a little bit of our cannonball, so some good ab conditioning going on. And if you do it for a second, you've done the pose, right? And then put the feet back down. You may like, again, to stretch that out, stretch out nice and long, and breathe in and breathe out. Good. And then from here, slowly bend the knees. Good. All right, so from here, come down onto your knees and lengthen the arms up towards the sky. Good. Good. So we're coming into camel pose. You're going to float your head up. If that feels okay, give a nice little stretch. Now from here, grab onto the fabric, push the fabric out, and bring it overhead and wrap it around the wrist. You got a nice simple wrist wrap. Press the arms out nice and long and come into our cat and cow stretch. So right now we're in a pretty neutral position. Extend the spine, look forward. All right, so take a deep breath in. As you exhale, round the spine, come into cat. And again, lengthen. So it may feel really nice for the arms and the shoulders here. Giving that stretch through the upper torso as well. One more time, inhale, extending the spine, and exhale, rounding the spine. And then slowly come up onto the knees. You're going to lift one leg, and we're going to stand up. We're going to shake out. So we're going to come into our low back point, our straddle back. I'm going to have you turn the other way and do it so you're going to be able to see yourself in the mirror. So you're going to turn around, facing the back of the room. And you're going to take your arms and put them through like a jacket. So you put the fabric on. You're going to grab the fabric and bring it so that the thumbs kind of hook around the hips right here. All right, so once we're there, then it's about having a little bit of trust, but also finding the right spot. So you want to make sure that's on the lowest portion of your low back, right above the hips, right above the glutes. The thumbs stay hooked in. You're going to lean back, soften the knees a bit, and once you're there, you're going to open up the legs nice and wide into a straddle. Good. And then once you're there, you're going to wrap the feet around. Now, if it doesn't feel like it's in the right spot, right, you can come back. Kelsey, does that feel like it's a little high? Yeah, so let's have you readjust right here. Good. Everyone else feels like they're in a good spot? Yeah, so do this. When you're hooked in, really keep your thumbs there. Walk forward a bit. All right, and then just slowly lean back into it. Draw your abs in, and now open your legs up nice and wide. Good, and hook the feet in. A little better? A little bit, yeah. Yeah. Do you want to readjust again? Okay. So I just want to make sure that you've got the right spot, that you're in a spot that feels good, or what I like to call the sweet spot. Because if you're not, right, we're going to be here for a while. You can always come out of it too. So here's the deal. If something's not feeling right, your body's probably telling you the truth, so don't force it to come through. All right? I'm telling you, doing this with a mic is not an easy thing. I need a wireless mic, Dan. All right. So here we are in our straddle back position. So if today you're like, yay, I like this, this is where I'm going to stay here, right? Maybe like a little chest expansion. But we're going to work a little bit through our hips because this is a nice place. We don't have the ground that gets in our way a lot of times when we do this on the mat. So unhook the left leg and point and flex through the foot. Now engage the abdominal muscles and work into this inner thigh. So it's going to wrap a little bit more around the left hip and into the inner thigh. Try and pull that leg towards the middle and down. Almost like you're trying to press your foot against the glass. That's what we're really looking for right there. All right, and you might go, ooh, right? And then slowly release. And now bring it the other way. Swing it behind and point the toe back. And then maybe just naturally the foot will bend. Maybe the right hand can reach for the, or left hand can reach for the left foot. Maybe the right hand as well. And this is where we really start to find out between shoulders and hips what's going on with the body. And again, all those are add-ons. You can keep the arms down. You can just let the head and the legs just hang naturally, whatever feels best. And take some deep breaths in and out. So really trying to open up the front of the hip, the front of the quad. Breathe in and breathe out. And then take a deep breath in. As you exhale, swing the left leg back around. Make sure you hook it back in. So we're securely in, and then the right leg comes off to the side, point and flex through the foot. Same idea, it comes from the center as much as the inner thigh to really try and pull that leg in and down. Because the idea is eventually both legs pull in and down, like you're doing a forward fold inverted. So this is kind of like a half forward fold right here. Good, and then open up the leg and then let it swing behind. And again, one side may love this more than the other. You may feel more comfortable doing it to one side. So breathe in and breathe out. Just go to where it feels best. How's everybody's head doing? Are we okay? Anybody need to come up? So if you do need to come up, right, I just want you to return to that high back point. That's a good resting spot. So the position that we had before where it's up on the high back point. So I'm keeping here. This is probably your longest sequence of being upside down. I know a lot of you have built the endurance, but there are just certain days where it's like, ooh, right? And there's been a lot of allergy stuff going on lately, so sometimes that affects us. Good. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out and bring the legs back around. All right, so let's climb up into goddess now that we've got the hips really open. So this is really a big hip opener. Really what it is it's a wide squat that we're going into, an externally rotated squat. So you don't get to really use your legs on this. So it's got to be a lot of abs and a lot of upper body. So here's the fabric right above your inner thighs. Grab it, chin towards the chest, and stay right here. Your next move needs to get your hands above your feet. So draw the stomach muscles in and take a good leap. Grab for the fabric above your feet. You're going to push your legs through and start to slowly crawl yourself up, right? And that's a big movement right there. Your feet need to go through, so go through the middle. Yes, there we go. Perfect. Keep going, keep climbing, keep climbing, keep climbing. She's in. Yes, nice. Good. You got it, Kelsey. Keep reaching, pushing through, pushing through. This is the test of upper body strength, right, to get up here. Once you're up here, then it's the test of how long you can bear it, right, because there's a lot going on through the hips. So, Maria, if you want to do a flip to the side or whatever feels best, go for that. The rest of us, I think, probably feel more comfortable today just coming back to where we came from. So you're going to slide the hips back down, hold on to the fabric, and then the feet just hook right back in. And then you walk yourself back down. Good. And then walk Kelsey to the middle and then back. I think that one leg, do the leg the other way. Nope, 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 you had it right on that side. I think you're right on there. Yes, you're good. And then you can slowly come back to your straddle position. All right. How's everybody feeling? All right, good. So from here, we're going to slowly bring ourselves out. So you're going to bring your hands back, chin towards the chest. Instead of climbing all the way up this time, now you're going to unhook one leg, let it hang out behind. Keep drawing the chin up. Now you could come right here into a nice little tucked ball position, right? You can even work a little bit of your abs, extending one leg out, almost doing kind of like the bicycle right here. You could hold on really light. You could try and extend both legs out and pull back in. Whew, that's a tough one. And then just slowly let yourself come back and come to high back point. And we really want to rest right here because we're just upside down for a bit. And we will find a lot of times when we do inversions that if you were cold, you are no longer cold. You're usually pretty warm after being upside down. Take some deep breaths in and out. And we want to make sure that we hit some of our full fabric postures today. So I'll give you a couple more options for inversions here, but we also want to move into some of our restorative stretches. So grab onto the fabric, bend your knees, and slowly pull yourself up to standing. We're going to turn back towards the front of the room and find the edge of the fabric. So we want to find the edge and start to fan it out. So sometimes when we're working with the closed fabric, it'll get kind of tangled up. So just take a look at that right here. Then once you've found the edge, you're going to come back to your midpoint, and you're going to walk, or you're going to gather about 5 to 6 bunches of fabric. From here, let's take the right foot and put it into the center of the fabric and pull that extra fabric up right here. All right, so we're just going to start with a hamstring stretch, or what we call head to big toe. So the other thing is take a look at your standing leg right here, and you want to make sure that your standing leg is in parallel, your hips are square, pulling the right hip back. Take a deep breath in, reach up, and as you exhale, you're going to come into the fabric. So just a nice little forward fold stretch. Now you could lean forward more, you could even come up onto the toes and create more of a standing splits. So it kind of depends on how you're feeling with balance, how your legs are feeling today. And breathe in and breathe out. Good. And then slowly pull yourself back up to standing. Bring the leg out to the side. So let's hook the right, or the fabric around the right cheek, about half of it right here. And then flex your right foot in the fabric. Keep your right foot flexed as you bend your right knee and bring it in front of the left thigh. So we're going to go back into that pigeon pose. So if maybe you didn't feel as relaxed upside down, hopefully you will here. So you're going to slowly bring yourself through the curtains from behind. So separate the fabric, bring yourself through, keep flexing the right foot, and then you can lift up right here. If you want, the left hand can reach around for the foot, left arm can reach up, or right arm can reach up. If you'd like even more, you could flex the left foot and bring it into a floating half lotus. Good, so whatever feels good for the hips today. And it's Friday, right? We got to get your hips ready for dancing tonight. Right. Or eating guacamole. It's good motivation. And then bring the left foot down. Good. All right, so stepping up into full fabric, I think, is a real art right here. So you've got to make sure that that right foot is really grounded. Now you're going to have fabric that's in front and behind, so kind of make sure it's out of the way. Then gather fabric from the front to the back. Take a look down at that right foot. I always say keep your eye on the foot, and that's going to be a lot easier to get the left foot next to the right without getting too tangled up in the fabric. Good. And really, once you're up here, it's kind of cruel. I made you do all that work. I'm just going to make you go to the other leg. All right? So, what's up there, Kelsey? The hardest part, I say, is getting it to full fabric. Now, lift your right knee and step the right leg back down. So let's do that whole thing on the other side. But it's good practice because you're going to do it again at the end of this leg. So left leg extends out. Pull that extra fabric down the thigh. Square the hips. Make sure the standing leg is in parallel. Take a deep breath in, and as we exhale, we're coming into the fabric. And again, it's up to us. We're really thinking about hinging more from the hips and less rounding through the back. That's going to give us the biggest bang for our stretch, right? And then see if you can lean forward a bit, maybe come up onto the toes. And oh yeah, there's always one side that it's easier on, whether it's balance, whether it's the flexibility. So notice that. Like I noticed when I was on the other leg, it was really harder for me to stay more balanced and square, right? So maybe this is the stronger balancing leg. And then slowly come back. Bring the leg out 45 degrees, flex the left foot, bend the left knee, and make sure, right, you've got a good amount of fabric around the cheek, not too much, not too little, and then bend the left knee. Come behind the curtains, separate them, open up, and come through. And again, if you want, you can grab onto the right foot, you can extend the left arm. It's really quite a lovely looking pose. Good. And then if you want, right, if you did the half lotus, maybe try it on this side. That's a big hip stretch. Good. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then from here, the right leg's going to come back down. We're officially going to come off the earth. And we're going to stay in the fabric. So you're going to bend the left knee. Again, just like we did with the right side, keep your eye on the left foot. Gather from front to back. Make sure that the fabric in front and back is out of the way, and press straight down. So think about coming straight up and bringing your feet together. Good. So once we've kind of navigated through the fabric and we're up into standing, you're going to grab onto the front fabric. Good. So Kelsey, think of pressing straight down as you come up. There we go. And then get the leg in. Perfect. All right. So you're going to grab on. Your arms are wrapped around. You're going to grab onto the front fabric, pull it up, and hold on to the sides. So we want to make sure that we're secure before we come down. And then from here, bend your knees and come down into the fabric. And then you can let the front fabric go. And now you're going to grab onto this front fabric, and you're just going to let yourself come down onto your belly, extend out. And it's probably one of the best poses right here because you don't have to do a whole lot. The swing really gets to do it for you. So a really lovely supported back extension coming into our full locust. Extend the arms and the legs, breathe in through the nose and back out. Now let's start to bend the elbows and peek the head out of the fabric. So coming into Sphinx pose, draw the shoulders down and away. And then from here, we're going to peek the arms out along with the shoulders and the head and the neck. You can just let yourself chill right here. So you may feel some of those pressure points across the chest and across the shoulders. And breathe in through the nose and back out. Now I'm going to get you onto your back. So it's a 180 turn. So you can either grab with your left arm or grab with your right, but you're going to start to rotate yourself all the way over onto your back. And what's lovely about the fabric is it's very movable, so you should be able to roll yourself over. Now what we're looking for is not a lot of fabric around your head and neck. All right, so if you've got a lot of fabric around the head and neck, you're going to want to start to kick it down because what we're looking for is to make a lovely, tight little collar around the shoulders. All right, so if the fabric is thin around the shoulders, that's good. If it's not, take your feet and just kick it down a bit. You can really tighten it up. You should have extra fabric down by your legs. So take that extra fabric down by your feet, and it doesn't need to be a lot. Depending on how tall we are, it might not be a lot. But we want at least some fabric hanging to about the knees. For some of us, it's going to come up quite a bit. So once you take the fabric and you create this little collar and you've got fabric over your legs, you're ready for your shoulder stand. So you're going to grab onto the tighter fabric with your hands. Bend your knees and point your toes up in the air. Now from here, I want you to float yourself up. Now if floating yourself up is not going to happen today, you can press your feet into the sides of the fabric and use that as leverage right here. Good. So what you can do, so Kelsey, let's see that again. Come back up to where the knees are bending. So bend the knees, bring the fabric back. So you want to make sure the fabric's over the legs. Bend the knees. Now when you bring the feet back, I want these outer edges of the feet to kind of press and open up wide. And right above this tight fabric, try and slide them up, push them up, but keep pushing them up, up, up. Yes, there we go. And then push into the outer edges right there. And keep using your abs. Oops. So I'm coming through. So yeah, what you want to think about is squeeze your glutes and draw your abs in to float up and then just let your head hang down. You want to try it again? Hang on a second. Let's get the fabric over your legs. Good. So yeah, kind of so do this. Now let's try the edges again. All right, so really use the outside of these legs right against that fabric, outside of the feet. Yeah, do you feel that leverage that you got? Perfect. There we go. Yeah, so you can use the outer edges of the fabric right there to help you, and then you can just let the head relax. Make sure that you hang on with this one, right? Even though you do have the security, if you were to fall back into the fabric, it would catch you. And even if the legs were to go this way, it would catch you. So those who might want to try plow pose, right? Now you're just going to hinge from the hips and bring the legs towards the mirror. Good. And the fabric will eventually catch you. It's kind of, there we go, upside down plow.
Oh, wow, that's funny.
Yeah. So it's cool. Right there. Breathe in and breathe out. But if we're kind of just hanging on to shoulder stand today, that's fine. Or if you're like Maria, you're maybe doing some fun things over there. All right. We're kind of like, let's just let her be the monkey over there. Good. Now, coming out of this, right, is really nice because the fabric's there, but try to use some core control. You can either slide your legs down and let the hips come back down, or really think about short spine in Pilates. Good. So your head might need a little break now, so what you're going to do is take the fabric and pull it over your head and start to scoot your hips down into the fabric. Good. So you might want a little bit of that rest for your head and neck. I'm going to offer you one more kind of big pose before I let you just chill out here. And I'm going to let you come into a back extension. So it's kind of up to you where you want to go with this. So I would probably start first with coming up into a seated position. So just come up and hold on to the tight fabric. And then what you're going to do is pull the fabric down towards your low back. So think back to your low back position. And then you're going to hold on to the fabric and just let your body start to come out of the fabric. Yes, and you can kick the legs out if you'd like as well. And we're really going for bow pose. Beautiful. It should, your butt should be in it, but actually I'd like it if your legs were more, like if put it down towards, yeah.
That looks better.
Yeah, well, I'd even bring it all the way to the bottom of the knees. There we go. Then you're going to feel more secure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then if you want, right, you could reach your arms down towards the floor like you're doing the full wheel, the full back bend. Or you could reach and try and grab onto your ankles and come into your inverted bow. All right. And that is, again, that's a pretty intense posture right here. Good. And it's up to you how long you want to stay in this one. If you are ready to go into your full cocoon, go into your full cocoon, right? Slowly come up. Get yourself comfortable in your full cocoon. Make sure your whole body's in, unless you're kind of hot. If you're kind of hot, sometimes I say keep your legs out, right? Or keep your feet out. That'll cool you down a bit. But just make sure for sure your head and neck are really well supported. Where you put your arms is up to you. If you like them to hang out overhead, if you like to tuck them in down by the sides. I do always offer at the end a little push, so if you want to swing a little bit. Yep, just give me a little wave if you want to swing. Oh, everybody's a swinger today. Everybody's a big swinger, so good.
I'm just a swinger. Can you give me an under push?
I don't want you to run into Norma Jean, but I'll give you got the biggest push there. All right, ladies, so just take a few moments and allow yourself to breathe and release. I think what's really awesome right now is you all are kind of swinging in this fun little rhythm together. It's like, you know, the universe is one right here. So keep breathing in through the nose and back out. Maybe wiggle the toes and the fingertips a bit, or even kind of wiggle your body a little bit like you're the caterpillar in the cocoon, right? Kind of reawakening right here. Thank you so much today, ladies, for joining me and being part of this little filming action. All right, everybody did a really nice job today. Hope you feel good. That's the most important thing. You walk out of here feeling like you did some work, but you also did some kind of relaxing as well. So from here, let's just peek the feet out of the fabric. And then maybe bring it all the way down to where the knees are. And then you're going to grab onto the fabric, slowly pull yourself up. Reach your arms up nice and tall. Take a deep breath in. Draw the hands to the heart center. And as always, the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste, ladies. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic day. Thank you for being part of our filming shenanigans.